delighted with him. Okay, he's blown up a little bit. I thought he probably would. We just tied up a little bit, didn't we? And Richard said he blew a bit. And we're all now beginning to, we all know he's maybe a better 2.5 mile horse than he could maybe take on the best in the world at 2.5,
So, with the champion Chase at last replacing the Gold Cup at the front of Connections Mines, one man was pitched in against two 2-mile champion chasers, Martha's Son and Viking Flagship in Huntingdon's Peterborough Chase. Martha's Son made an early exit, and it was one man versus the old warrior Viking Flagship as they turned into the straight.
Run to the second last, and one man comes down to it and jumps it about 2 lengths in front. Viking Flagship was a bit awkward at it and lost a bit of ground on the leader there. And one man is really kicked about 4 lengths in front. Viking Flagship is trying to close again back in second, but one man is looking strong at the moment as he comes down towards the final fence now. One man took it well. Viking Flagship looks tired in second. Kamitrov is back in third, and one man, the grey, coming back to 2.5 miles. Well, he's as good at this distance as he is at 3 miles because he's well clear of Viking Flagship. And one man comes up towards the line with Richard Dunwoody to win the Peterborough Chase in tremendous style. Viking Flagship and Adrian Maguire finished second, and Kamitrov was back in third.
And so to Kempton and the King George hat-trick bid. Although the rain-softened ground meant the task would be a stiff one, with one man's stamina called into question round Kempton as never before.
But he's still going well enough, and Barton Bank and Sunny Bay still continue to go head for the lead. Seymour Business in behind them with one man close up in 4th place as they take the next fence, and one man made a bad mistake there. He dropped back to 5th or 6th place after that error. Challenger Deluxe gone past him. Rough Quest is now improving as they take the final one on the far side. Barton Bank hit that very hard. Seymour Business and Sunny Bay now go on from Challenger Deluxe. One man is right in there pitching as well. Rough Quest has latched onto these leaders in 5th place. Old Barton Bank looks to have run his race. That mistake has knocked the stuffing out of him as they turn for home. The stragglers in behind Barton Bank include Jeddah and Senor El Batruti, who's now tailing off. They've got 3 left to take in the King George, and it's Seymour Business under Andrew Thornton. Andrew having his first ride in the King George.
He fought back from a blunder 5 from home and was travelling like the wrath of God entering the straight, but when asked for a race-clinching effort after the second last, he was quickly at the end of his tether. Just a length or so down 2 fences from home, he was beaten 27 lengths and was virtually out on his feet as he tottered over the line.
Challenger Deluxe, one of the outsiders, Challenger Deluxe is running away. Rough Quest in behind them moves into 3rd place. One man is now beaten. Down towards the last they come. Seymour Business.
Really, after the King George, we started to turn our eyes and thoughts to the Queen Mother Chase. And of course, I spoke to many people in the racing world whose opinions I respected, who said, whatever you do, John, don't put him in the Queen Mother. They would say, he's either hasn't got the speed to take on the 2-mile sprinters, or he didn't like Cheltenham. Well, as far as not liking Cheltenham concerned, we never accepted that. Gordon never accepted that. He proved he could win at Cheltenham, winning the Pilar Chase. And of course, we then entered him for the Comet Chase, very much in mind to sharpen him up for the Queen Mother. We never even considered anybody else. We fully understand that Richard was committed. We accepted that. I don't think Richard believed that we'd end up probably going in the Queen Mother at the end of the season, at the beginning of the season. So he was totally committed to Clare and Davis, that we fully understood. We only thought of Tony, and we said to Richard, well look, if you're not going to ride him in the Queen Mother, and we really want Tony to ride him in his prep race in the Comet Chase.
They're about 6 or 8 lengths to Senor El Batruti, who's struggling. Coming towards 5 out now. One man joined by Strong Promise the far side. They touch down almost together. They're about 8 or 10 lengths to Senor El Batruti as they come to the last of the ditches. 4 out. One man on the left. On the right is Strong Promise, who's going great guns. A long gap in the field then to Senor El Batruti, but 3 left to jump in the Comet and Sony Chase. One man and Strong Promise together. together. It's one man on the left who lands over to fractional leader from Strong Promise, about 15 lengths to Senor Albatruti. They're on the turn for home in the confident Sony Chase. And on the far side, it's one man who turns the corner now about a length and a half in front. Strong Promise is now shaken up, trying to gather him in. A long gap to Senor Albatruti. They've got two left to jump now. One man on the far side, the leader coming to the last, jumps out to his right, lands over to length in front. Here's Strong Promise with his run there, well clear of Senor Albatruti. One man shaken up under the whip on the far side. They come towards the last now. Strong Promise on the near side hasn't found as much as expected. As they come towards the last now, one man draws towards it, jumps it well, lands over at about 6 or 7 lengths in front. Strong Promise has run out of gas. The fitness is starting to tell now, and one man going away for Tony Dobbin goes on to score a good win in the confident Sony Chase, reverses the tables, goes on to win here. One man is the winner, second is Strong Promise, a long gap to Senor Albatruti, third.
Gordon, you're not 21 anymore. What's it like to be sitting on a flamboyant, free-running horse like this, who basically is the most popular chaser in this country and has been for quite a few years?
Well, very nice to sit on a nice horse. I generally pick a nice horse. I think if you're going to ride a horse, why not ride a good one? And I've always done that. I've ridden Titus, Play Lord, a lot of good horses. Sea Pigeon, a lot of them I've sat on. I enjoy this horse, and I'm sure he enjoys me.
But
And he's not bad for a trainer's hack, is he?
But does he pull your arms out?
No. Talk to him, steady, you silly old devil, I say to him, and different things, and he listens to me. You know? No, he's a very easy ride, otherwise I wouldn't ride him.
Ascot was the last time Gordon Richards was to see one man win. Already ill, he was to miss that day of days at Cheltenham, only to endure the crippling blow of the grey horse's death at Entry. But Richards' life had laid its hands on so many others, whose sadness at his passing later in the year was matched only by the deep admiration they felt for the man.
He was a great trainer, there's no doubt about it. His record's there and it'll stand up for a long time, you know. Hard but fair man to work for. I worked for him for over 14 years and I miss him dearly, you know. I really do. I holidayed with him, I went out drinking with him. You know, we talked about life as well as horses, like, and he was a great bloke, like, great bloke.
He was a really down-to-earth and a brilliant trainer. There's no doubt about it. He was fantastic with the young horses. He brought them on, and I think his owners came secondary. He was a man's man, and he was certainly gave his horses 100%. He wasn't everybody's cup of tea. He was a little bit blunt on occasions, and I think he could get his jockeys near to tears. He liked the horses ridden as he wanted them to be ridden, but he knew his stuff, and he was dedicated to the profession. He rode out even just before he died. He was sound as a pound. He was a great man, a great trainer, and he'll be missed.
Gordon Richards and one man were made for one another. Gordon was a true professional. One man was a professional. Gordon loved his horses, and that was apparent to everybody. And I think that's the greatest advert that any trainer can have for racing or for the general public, the welfare and the care of their horses. And it was lovely to see Gordon with his horses. I think Gordon is what you'd describe as a rough diamond, but you don't see many diamonds better than he.
Well, Gordon Richards started off with our family as a trainer-owner relationship, and he became a very good personal friend of our family. We found him to be honest in his dealings with us, straightforward. He would never tell us what we wanted to hear. He would always tell us what he believed we should hear. He was dedicated to his profession. I remember probably one of the most lovely moments in our relationship was that when he was very close to death, he came back from hospital only 3 days before he passed away. And his secretary said his daughter's gone to pick him up from the hospital and he's going to bring him home. Why don't you ring him in a couple of hours? And he answered the phone and I said, it's John Halesgord. He said, oh, John, I've been down the stable. Your horses are fine. Now, I think that says everything about Gordon Richards. I said, Gordon, I haven't rung up about any horses. I don't want to talk about horses. I only want to talk about you. How are you? And I think that sums up the man's total dedication to his profession. And I consider it a privilege and honour to have known him.
Cheltenham, March the 18th, 1998. A racing day none who were there will ever forget. For John Hales, the decision to run in the Queen Mother Champion Chase was clinched at a chance meeting he and his trainer had on holiday in the Caribbean.
We took Gordon Richards with us last Christmas as a thank you for everything he'd done for our family and what he'd done with one man. And we were sitting in Mullin's Beach Bar one evening, and he introduced me to Jack Berry. And Gordon said, "Look, Jack Berry will tell you all about speed in racehorses." And Jack came over, we shook hands, had a drink, and I said to Jack, "Do you think that one man has got the speed to win the Queen Mother?" He immediately turned around and said, "Oh yes, he's plenty fast enough to win that race." I said, "Do you think he'll win?" He said, "Oh yes, he'll win it."
We were talking about him, as I said, and we were saying about his Gold Cup and how disappointing he was. And I said, well, I don't think that really that was a race for him, because I mean, he didn't get the three plus miles in the horse box there. In fact, he actually jumped in Peterborough in the race there on both occasions when he ran the Gold Cup, but to me, he just didn't get home. So I mean, if you were to take the last three fences out, which you would do in the Queen Mother's Chase, I mean, I thought it was tailor-made for the race.
But at 10 years of age, with a Cheltenham record that was virtually all pain, most people thought his chance had gone. Nearly everyone on course wanted to see him win, but few really believed that the dream of festival victory could ever be reality.
I couldn't win. I mean, there's no point in my trying to fudge what the press thought. Hardly anyone thought that one man could win a Queen Mother Champion Chase at his age after running in races over 3¼ miles. They just didn't. And one professional gambler, I would say an esteemed professional gambler of my acquaintance, at one of the pre-Cheltenham racing clubs said he would throw himself off the stand if he won because his judgment would be so far adrift. And he cheerfully admitted it afterwards.
On the meeting's opening day, Tony Dobbin was injured, and his agonizing misfortune handed the ride to a jockey returning from his own period in the wilderness and who had never even ridden at the festival before, Brian Harding.
Oh, I was absolutely devastated. I mean, before that, I always said that the worst time in my short racing career, the worst time I had was when I lost the ride on him. But whenever I got injured and missed not only obviously one man, but we had another winner as well, long guy that missed it, that was really devastating for me, you know.
I was at Sedgefield, had 3 or 4 just scrubs at Sedgefield, they weren't any good or nothing. And that evening, after Tony got the fall, Peter Scudamore rang me, and he said, that was the first I'd heard about it, he said, I think he must have rang the bossman, and he said, how do you feel about riding one man, you know? And I couldn't believe it, because I honestly thought Paul Carby won one guy that missed, so I thought, well, he might get to riding him as well, you know. And when I came back and I seen the boss, like, you know, and he just said something like, you know, he says, son, I'm going to put you in this horse, I hope you're not going to let us down, you know, and he was brilliant, you know.
Right now, car!
Under orders then and race away for the Queen Mother Champion Chase, and covered the first of the 12 fences already. The grey one man won off.
Well, we talked about it. Father had been talking to Tony for a week or 2 before the race and everything, what sort of way we would ride him and everything. And of course, and Brian was listening in on all of these discussions, going to the races and what have you. The race went just about according to plan. And when Brian came out into the parade ring and said that Aston was going to take us on from the starting gate, that gave us a little bit more confidence, because we thought Aston might have sat in behind us and just tried to take us from the top of the hill, but it would have took a great horse to go up sides with our boy, you know.
Come up past the enclosures then, and it's Ask Tom, the outside of the grey one man. The Northern Riders, Brian Harding and Russ Garrity, head for head in the Queen Mother Champion Chase. Clarence Davis is stalking in 3rd, Viking Flagship on the out of 4th, then Lord Dorset and All Royal, and the other 2 getting just woefully outpaced. Left-handed down the hill, they race away from the stands. Ask Tom leads the parade, ears pricked, to one man on the inside, and Clarence Davis in 3rd.
On towards the fifth then. Ask Tom with one man on the near side. Claron Davis sitting a handy third then. Viking Flagship. Ask Tom just out jumping one man at this stage. Lightning Lad and Seek the Faith just can't go the gallop at all. It's a real throat cutter as they head on towards the water jump, and it's Ask Tom and one man going head and head. Lord Dorset on the near side, Viking Flagship, Claron Davis. Or Royal wasn't too fluent at the water there, and then the other two. On towards the big open ditch now, fence number 7, and one man pulling his way back to the lead just, but Ask Tom jumping well again. Lord Dorset in third position as they continue along the back straight towards fence number 8, and Claron Davis has lost a bit of ground back into 5th place. Over the next, one man from Ask Tom, clear of Lord Dorset as they now continue to climb on the far side. They've kicked clear of All Royal, who's trying to get up into 4th. Then Claron Davis, Viking Flagship is losing his position. There's a long gap to Lightning Lad and Seek the Faith. The big open ditch, number 9, and it's one man on the inside of Ask Tom, duelling for the lead still. From Lord Dorset in 3rd, Claron Davis is off the bit. So is All Royal back in 5th from Viking Flagship. They're reaching the top of the hill, and it's one man by a half length to Ask Tom, and they've got the others on the stretch.
And those others headed by Lord Dorset, the striped jacket Viking Flagship, the grey is All Royal. But a great gasp from the crowd as one man skipped round that corner, and Russ Garrity asked Tom for extra effort, but they've still got 3 more fences to jump, and the leading 5 in the Queen Mother Chase are one man. What a good jump. Ask Tom, Claron Davis, an unusual mistake there, and it's one man then. Look at this, hard held to the jump. One man, the grey, the giant grey. Ask Tom in 2nd, Lord Dorset in 3rd, and so the Northern jockeys 1, 2 and 3 as they take the 2nd from home, with All Royal back in 4. Claron Davis a most disappointing 5. Viking Flagship, who's been high on the barometer of braveness, well beaten as they make the final turn, and it's one man now. He's facing this Cheltenham hill, and Lord Dorset is the challenger in 2nd, 2 in 3rd place All Royal at the final fence now, and one man comes to it over safely. 2 miles is his trip. It's taken them a long time to find it out, but the Queen Mother Champion Chase goes to one man, Brian Harding's biggest day.
It was a moment when those with doubts finally believed that there was a God. In one climactic and vindicating triumph, one man finally achieved what he had deserved so long: victory up that desperate hill at the festival. His astonishing cruising speed, which had left so many gasping in his grey wake, has seen him trounce the best 2-milers, and the racing public, who had never ceased to love this bouncing, barrel-chested ball of muscle, cheered his every victorious step. It was an occasion high on emotion, but there was also a deep respect for the old horse, a sense of relief, and, above all, the wonderful feeling that justice had been done at long last.
Well, that's the best sight I've seen at the festival meeting, no doubt about that. This horse deserves to go into the record books as a festival winner. Jumped them all silly, pricked his ears, and the number of times we've seen him here in that Gold Cup, absolutely blind drunk at the last through exhaustion, and we've all thought, is he doggy or whatever? No question about that. He's answered all of those questions today. You've just got to feel tremendously pleased for Brian Harding and awfully upset for Tony Dobbin. What a little horse.
When people started roaring at him, his ears were pricked. He absolutely loved it all. He's just a star. Like, he showed everybody what he was. An absolute champion that he was.
One man, the horse that racing legends are made of, and for Brian Harding, well, the fairy story, absolutely complete, with a magnificent ride on a horse who proves himself at last a true champion here around Cheltenham.
It was one of the great days. There's no question that it ranked up there with the Dawn Run day and the crowd thronging around here after the race. It was a special moment. We all ran down. I mean, one or two of us had tears in our eyes and stuff, because the horse deserved it. And a great day for National Hunt racing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes!
Owning a racehorse is about having to take the rough with the jagged. And one man for all the pleasure he brought John Hales and his family, spared his owners no pain. But that afternoon at Cheltenham was pure joy for them and everyone who witnessed it. For Hales, to be close to a true champion like one man has been an enriching experience, but also a humbling one.
Owning one man was a pleasure, it was a privilege, it was an honour. He was such a lovely, lovely horse. But it did bring pressures, simply through his ability. But of all the horses that we've owned since Lisa was 2 years of age, we've never owned a horse with such